Government seeks to review the electoral laws of Dominica. Dominica benefits from 2 regional funded climate change projects, and the OECS Commission committed to regional development. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Tasia Floissac.
And I'm Nisha Charles. Stay with us for the details of these and other stories after the break.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in one? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Thanks for staying with us. The nation's leader, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, says the electoral laws and processes should be reviewed and revised. Although he believes that the electoral laws and processes have produced elections that are free and fair, he sees the need to examine the laws and identify areas where it can be strengthened and to bring clarity.
More specifically in relation to 1. Safeguarding the constitutional right to vote. 2. Strengthening the revision and verification processes of the list of electors so as to ensure that only those who, under the laws of Dominica, are entitled to vote are or remain on the list. 3. Clarifying the election law on bribery, including by expressly providing that transportation of electors or supporters is lawful unless such transportation of electors or supporters is provided for the purpose of inducing persons to vote for a particular candidate and or a party when otherwise they would not vote for the candidate in question.
The laws will also seek to ensure that national identification cards are in place for use well in advance of the next general elections.
In that regard, government is committed to ensuring that the necessary funds are made available to the Electoral Commission to complete the ongoing process towards the establishment of national ID cards. The government has, as a matter of fact, purchased the equipment for the processing of the national ID cards. Now, what has to be done is for the issuance of those cards to those who will be eligible for having those cards. And 5, such other matters considered essential for the enhancement of the electoral laws of Dominica.
The government of Dominica will soon submit its proposed amendments to the electoral laws to the Chief Elections Officer and the Electoral Commission for their review and comments.
The Eastern Caribbean Group of Companies, the ECGC, is providing technical assistance to poultry farmers with a view to helping them manage their farms more effectively. On Tuesday, poultry farmers in Dominica attended a one-day seminar organized by the ECGC in collaboration with local suppliers of animal feed and the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry.
Over the years, ECGC has participated in the Dominican market, serving bakers, serving farmers, and serving the general public. The company has a legacy of providing top quality products and engaging positively in the livelihood of our customers. The well-being of our customers has always been the primary focus of our manufacturing effort and our service delivery. Today, East Caribbean Feeds is once again pleased to host another feed seminar in Dominica. The company is cognizant of the importance of not only quality products, but also technical services that reach the core of every level of production.
In 2013, a similar seminar was held for both pig and poultry farmers. However, this time in 2015, the seminars are being held separately so that each group can benefit from in-depth discussion on their sector. Extension Officer in the Ministry of Agriculture, Anthony Cyril, encouraged farmers present to work as a unit in order to move the sector forward. He says it is commendable that over the past 30 years, Dominica has been self-sufficient in producing table eggs. However, he says more work needs to be done to improve production of poultry meat.
The abattoir is one of the major objectives which we are working on to get the poultry subsector at the next level. These endeavors cannot be achieved without the input from the farmers. I mean, the abattoir is just a building and it can't operate without birds, it can't operate without pigs. So therefore, such enterprises, such trainings like this today will ensure that you not only produce, but you produce at a level where you make profits, where you work and you can see where your efforts are going into.
Main facilitator of the seminar was Dr. Robert Thomas of Jamaica. He encouraged farmers to reduce wastage and look to producing more for self-sufficiency and to reduce the food input bill. A seminar for pig farmers will be conducted later this week. So Tasia, here we see the Eastern Caribbean group of companies investing in the poultry industry in Dominica.
That's right.
And it's not just them, but it's here locally. You know, government has been investing in the poultry industry, and the latest edition will be the National Abattoir.
Exactly. And we know that the National Abattoir was conceptualized as a response to Dominica's efforts for food security. Now, this initiative is costing government over $10 million to construct the abattoir in Layo Park, which we believe will be open sometime in July.
In July, yes.
Exactly. So I'm sure that we both can agree that apart from just food security, there are a number of other benefits that the National Abattoir will pose for Dominica.
Yes, definitely. And one of those benefits will be job creation.
Exactly.
You know, yesterday I was at a press conference with the Prime Minister, and he was addressing a number of areas that this abattoir would fill, you know, and one of them would be that it was job creation, that the abattoir would allow for people to open up farms, and it's up to the consumers then to buy the local produce that will be provided from the abattoir.
Exactly. And in that, well, on that note, actually, it will be decreasing our import bill.
Yes, it will.
As we know, over the years, it has been very high, I think over $14
million.
Exactly. Now, if we as local consumers support our local producers, it would mean that we'd have to import less from foreign countries, which is going to benefit Dominica and decrease that bill.
Yes, and it will also reduce on foreign exchange.
Exactly. And in more news, Dominica is benefiting from two projects from the OECS RRACC. Rallying the Region to Action on Climate Change, or RRACC, is a US $10.5 million project founded by the USAID and implemented across the OECS region by the OECS Secretariat. At a recent climate change media symposium held in St. Kitts, GIS caught up with RRACC project coordinator Lester Arnold, who spoke about the projects being implemented in Dominica. The first is works to improve drainage to mitigate flooding in the community of Miro.
We also diverted a major culvert crossing that was taking waters from the main road down into the community. We diverted that alongside the main road down to a ravine. We've done some elevated drains in the community so that persons can also use it as a sidewalk. So by doing that, we have alleviated some of the flooding that would normally take place. For the last 1 or 2 heavy showers they had, the drains have been working very well. So the project has been successfully implemented to that point.
The second project in Dominica is a model farm in Londonderry.
We're going to be constructing a biogas digester for the pig pens. That basically what's going to happen is that the feces from the pigs will be converted into methane gas, and also the effluent will be used as a fertilizer. So that can also enhance the soil in the area, because the soils, from what we were told, was a bit acidic. So with that manure, it will improve the soil qualities. The methane gas that will be produced will use to be to heat up the pig pens at night. So because the thing is, the warmer the pigs can be, the better they will grow. So that is the benefits of the methane gas. We're also going to be doing some rainwater harvesting tanks, which will collect water off of the rooftops. That will be used for irrigation purposes. And we're also going to be doing some irrigation lines at that project.
Arnold says funding was shared equitably among the OECS countries. Funding was approved based on priority and cost of these priority projects. Arnold says these projects will soon be officially handed over. You're watching National Focus. Still to come, details on a two-day seminar on intellectual property rights. Stay with us.
The Ministry of Health's monthly mass aerobics is on. Dress in your exercising gear and join the Ministry of Health and the Establishment Department from 5 p.m. on the Bayfront for 1 hour of exercising and dancercising in the fight against chronic non-communicable diseases. Reduce obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes and cancer. Yes, make it a date and participate in the Ministry of Health mass aerobics session on Thursday, June 25th. From 5 p.m. on the Roseau Bayfront. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
In an effort to create awareness among exporters and potential exporters of the benefits of intellectual property system, the Dominic Export-Import Agency Dexia hosted a two-day seminar on intellectual property rights beginning Tuesday, June 23rd. This is in keeping with the National Export Strategy's objective to transform Dominica's economic sector into export growth sectors by focusing on the strengths and opportunities for producers. Addressing the opening ceremony, General Manager of Dexia, Gregoire Thomas, remarks that intellectual property rights can be applied to a number of sectors and not just the music industry, as some believe.
In the past, a lot of the information that we have disseminated on intellectual property has had a strong bias towards the cultural industries, particularly music. In our daily lives, IP covers a whole range of issues, from unauthorized downloading from the internet, copying or uploading copyrighted photos without the permission and consent of the owner, unauthorized copying of movies for commercial or personal use. All of these constitute infringements of IP and can be prosecuted.
The General Manager says intellectual property rights are major drivers of innovation and growth, particularly among private sector organizations.
Intellectual property rights encourage innovation and reward entrepreneurs in the agricultural, manufacturing, and services sectors. These rights provide incentives to entrepreneurs to keep exploring new approaches in the face of adversity while receiving protection for innovative work. Moving forward with the NES export agenda requires greater understanding of the rules and how we can use them to take advantage of opportunities under the Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, and the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. Intellectual property, thus, contributes significantly to business value and assists firms in their quest to gain competitive advantage.
Facilitator of the event, McCarthy Marie, notes that this knowledge can significantly improve businesses.
The whole point about intellectual property is to provide a basis and a system to support people who engage in business, people who invent things, who create new designs, etc., and basically to assist them to further their business objectives. So intellectual property law really is part of the big scheme of things we might call commercial law or business law. Yes, and in the late 20th century and into the 21st century, the importance of intellectual property in all spheres have become extremely important. And many countries, of course, depend very heavily on intellectual property for their wealth and income.
Marie says this knowledge is also critical to the development of a nation.
If we in Dominica are to progress and join the 21st century with the rest of the world, this is part of the knowledge that we ought to have about business, how you use the intellectual property system, what the different rights are, how they are administered, and the rules, basic rules governing them.
And finally, this news time, Director General of the OECS Commission, Dr. Didacus Jules, says over the years the Commission has been and will remain steadfast in its efforts to boost collective regional development. Addressing the 34th anniversary of the OECS last Thursday, Dr. Jules indicated that the achievements of the OECS since its inception have laid the foundation which now constitutes some of the pillars of the region's resilience in the turbulent world. He says one example is the East Caribbean dollar, a tangible symbol of economic stability. The director highlighted other achievements.
Consolidating the growth, development, and free movement of goods, services, capital, and ideas. This will involve initiatives such as the revitalization of the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange to facilitate the movement of capital and resources across the region, encouraging and strengthening indigenous and local capital accumulation mechanisms, such as our credit unions and local banks. Work is advancing on the single domestic space for travel via the proposed OECS Border Management and Technical Agencies Integration Project that will ultimately result in the abolition of the dreaded immigration card and make movement as easy as swiping an OECS smart card and walk through.
The list of achievements also includes the removal of work permit requirements, acceptance of any official photo identification apart from passports at ports of entry, and the acceptance of driver's licenses from any national space to drive in the host country. He noted that the policy of rights contingent to freedom of movement has been developed and is in the process of endorsement by member states. This includes seamless access to education for children, the access to social and health services, and the ability to transfer all social benefits from a national's home base. Looking ahead, Dr. Jules also revealed the Commission's priorities for the upcoming year.
Another of these less visible pillars is the regional security system which we share with Barbados. The RSS has played an important role in security, including drug interdiction across our waters, but equally importantly, in post-disaster situations. The RSS is a first response mechanism for natural disasters in the OECS. We are now into the 4th year of implementation of the Economic Union, and we have made comparatively good progress in this direction. All protocol member states currently have in effect the elements of free movement for OECS citizens which were agreed to in 2011. The citizens of the OECS now enjoy an unencumbered right to move and live freely within the single space.
The director informed that progress has been made on designing the regime for free circulation of goods that will ensure that goods moving within the OECS are not subject to multiple taxation. According to Dr. Jules, the Commission is also working to complete the OECS Growth and Development Strategy that will ensure a fresh approach to job creation, entrepreneurship and development, and youth development. He is confident that the Commission will continue to put measures in place for the enjoyment of livelihoods within the OECS and the wider region.
And before we leave, here's an announcement. The Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Grand Fork constituency, Ivor Stevenson, will hold town hall meetings at the following dates and times. Monday, June 29th at Cyrilla's Place in Montjean and Tuesday, June 20th at Ibex 20 at Rivière-Syrique. The first town hall meeting convenes today, June 24th at 6 p.m. at the Grand Fork Community Hall. Villagers are asked to make every effort to attend these meetings and be on time, as there are important matters to discuss. And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson Saint-Louis. Premièrement, une délégation PanAmerican Health Organization PAHO qui a visité le pays là à présent. Parole là sorti du ministère de Santé, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow.
Pour ça, nous actuellement nous écrivons nous des assistants au PAHO. Et PAHO nous un team experts là pour une semaine pour guider nous. C'est ça qu'on fait, qu'on regarde toutes ces workshops là, toutes ces studies là qu'ils a fait, parce que assez longtemps nous avons parlé contre National Health Insurance, avec healthcare, sinon c'est pas important pour actuellement, mais pour finance healthcare services. C'est ça pas qu'on fait, parler avec tous ces stakeholders là, semaine ça là, et bien yo que dit nous à final semaine là, ça yo tapé, et bien ça yo quoi. Now, ça c'est juste commencement programme là. Clearly, une semaine pas que j'aime assez pour y faire tout le travail, mais y ça fait nous faire ouais où la nous y et regarder ces différentes options nous ni.
Minister Darrow parle contre National Health Insurance.
Gouvernement ka ouais que comme dit il y a des mon anti% population là qui ça afford medical et health insurance. Mais majorité mon à Dominique c'est monde qui passe à afford health insurance, c'est convention health insurance. So actuellement nous comme ministère et ministère nous pour garder comment nous ça fait health services plus affordable ba monde si sans y mettre un tour de poche c'est monde là et poche gouvernement. So c'est ça yo là pour semaine ça là. So demain Thursday mo kwa yo ne pour ni ça nous ka debriefing pour yo informer moi avec yo que of course split ba moi en formal report ba moi debriefing aso qui findings yo pour semaine ça yo que parler avec toutes ces ségoles là comme on dit c'est docteur ya c'est insurance company official of Ministry of Health Social Security avec toutes ces différents stakeholders là qui nous quoi qui forme un part à programme ça là.
En notre nouvelle, un programme lancé où la moun à l'âge en territoire Kalinago a bénéficié. Si l'on membre parlement Honorable Cassius Darrow, ministre Kalinago a joué un pas autant significant et puis programme là.
Nous avons lancé un groupe qui a regardé quand ça fait moun qui a venu plus à l'âge. Attention groupe ça c'est pour chipper pour moun qui à l'âge ba ces services là même quand ça gouvernement a fait available ba moun yo ka faire service là pour ces moun là qui à l'âge là. Nous même comme ministry Kalinago Affairs nous aussi ga jouer panneau comme ça mois qui passe nous tenu en 100,000 US dollars par gouvernement Korea pour peuple Kalinago ça nous a fait verser ba ça là c'est pour faire caille pour ça aider moun qui prend l'âge moun qui passe à des koyo. Aussi nous avons fait une contribution pour eux en affaire washroom facility par exemple. Actuellement nous avons tout washroom à construction dans Kalinago territory. Ça pas compliment gouvernement Dominique. Aussi un village Akason aussi. Là nous avons occupé ces monde qui à l'âge là aussi nous avons 15 washroom facility qui maintenant qui a travaillé là. Avec Kalinago territory groupe là ça nous a lancé après-midi c'est pour faire certain que ces gens qui pris en l'âge nous occuper parce que ils font l'oba pays et font l'oba peuple Kalinago.
En d'autres nouvelles, le gouvernement Dominique a fait provision 500 avec $15,000 l'argent pour réhabilitation chimie Bawi Kahom. Parole celle-là sur le premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt pendant la conférence média jeudi semaine celle-là. Si le premier ministre Skerritt, première phase projet là voit travail à ces chimie là et puis pour virer dressing aussi couper branche tout près à ces chimie là même. Deuxième phase là qu'a voit chimie là pavé et puis concrete ou bien colas. Département Public Works tape contract pour projet là. Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson Saint-Louis. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Get in and fasten your seatbelt, okay?
Mom, why do I have to wear seatbelts? I do not want to.
James, when I ask you to fasten your seatbelt, please do as I say. It's for your own safety and protection, okay?
Yeah.
Protect yourself, protect the child. Always fasten your seatbelt. Crashes can happen at any time. It is better to be safe than sorry. Remember, seatbelts save lives. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the PanAmerican Health Organization.
Whether we're hungry and impatient and there's a plate of hot food we desperately want to eat, or we just don't anticipate the level of heat that's about to enter our mouths, we often burn our tongues. Fortunately, there are easy tips to ease the pain.
Have a few spoonfuls of yogurt or honey. These are two of the best remedies for a burnt tongue, as they're extremely cooling and soothing.
Number 2, sprinkle about a pinch of sugar and leave it on your tongue to dissolve for about 1 minute.
And suck on an ice cube or ice pop. The most obvious way to soothe a burning tongue is to counteract the heat with something cold.
Until healing occurs, stay away from acidic or salty foods like tomatoes, citrus fruits and juices, vinegar and chips. If you must, dilute your juices so it is very weak but cold so that it can soothe the area. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter @GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on our past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Nisha Charles.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Thanks for watching, and join us again next time on National Focus.